Hello everybody, welcome to another Saturday Anything Goes, and happy 4th to you all. They've been shooting firecrackers off, and I'm sure once it gets dark, they'll have a lot more fireworks in the neighborhood, so if you hear all that, I'm sorry. Also, poor Miss Winnie is terrified of fireworks. I gave her something to calm her down, but you might hear her patter in here and whine a little bit, but her daddy's loving on her right now, so hopefully she'll stay back there with him. Okay, so what are we doing? We are going to make a project called an impossible box. It's not really impossible. There's just kind of a secret technique to it that I'm going to show you. Before we get into it though, this is our color palette. Nothing very colorful about it, but it's going to make a beautiful box. So we'll work with some gray granite cardstock along with some black cardstock, and I'm using the beautiful Peony Garden DSP. I just think it's so soft and so pretty. So anyway, let me clear this off and I'll show you the impossible box. Some of you may have seen one before. I just happened to be browsing YouTube to try and get ideas for tonight, and this is what I came across. So this is the impossible box. Why is it called the impossible box? Getting into it is a secret. Let me show you. I'm going to tilt it up here, and then I am going to lift. And as I lift, you're going to see the top expand until it's wide open. And that's what makes it the impossible box, because you have to know to lift it up like that in order to get at what's inside. So that's the first one I made. It's really pretty easy. There's just some measurements that you need to make sure and get right. So who have we got? Hey, Roz. Hi, Kathy. Thanks, ladies, for joining me tonight. Okay, so I've got my instructions. I even made a prototype just to make sure I don't mess things up. And we're going to be working with our gray granite cardstock first. And this is a piece that is 8.5 by 8 inches. And, you know, instead of my trimmer, I'm going to bring in my scoring tool. I love my scoring tool because I don't have to be moving paper around. I can just make all the scores with the paper in one spot. All right, so what we're going to do is on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score it at every 2 inches. So we've got 2, 4, 6, and 8. Pretty simple. Then we're going to rotate it clockwise, and on the short side, we're going to score it at 2 inches, at 5 inches, at 6 inches, and at 7 inches. Just like that. Now we can put all this away. All right. And normally at this point I would fold and burnish everything, but what I'm going to do is I have some cuts that I need to make that are a little, and actually I need my score tool back again, that are a little different so that we can make our opening. So what we're going to do is with our, let me get this straight here, so this is the bottom. And this is going to be our top. Let me make sure I have that correct. This is going to be our flap that we use, and here we go. And these will be the bottom flaps that we fold in to close the box. So we've got our 5, 6, and 7 score marks here. We're going to take our 6 inch score mark, or our score mark that's at 6 inches. We're going to go ahead and fold it and burnish it. Now we're going to make a couple more little, they're not really scores, they're just ticks, little ticks. So we're going to make one at 1, at 3, at 5, and at 7. And the reason we're making these little tick marks is they will guide us for cutting the openings that we need. Okay, now I can put my scoreboard away. And this is what we're left with so far. So all I did was I folded at the 6-inch mark, and I just made tick marks so I would know where I'm going to make my cuts. Okay. The first cut that I'm going to make is right here. We're going to cut at a diagonal from my tick mark up to the score line. So actually, let me get my big scissors out for this one. Makes it easier to line up. So we're just going to cut that like that. Okay? Now, we need to cut up all of these too, but to make it easier so these pieces fall out, I'm just going to cut up these score lines that run across. So our full score lines, just going to cut those up, and they will make cutting out our little triangles much easier. Okay, now that we've done that, again, I'm going to go from my tick mark here all the way up to there. And that way my little triangle falls right out. And we're just going to repeat that process for each one of these. One more. And then this little flap down here, we don't need it all. So I'm just going to cut that completely away. Okay, and this is what we're left with. It looks kind of wonky, but it is what is necessary to make our box to where we can open it. It's these pieces right here, and then collapse it. All right, now I can go in and finish folding and burnishing all of my score lines. I really liked this project because it doesn't take a lot of supplies. Basically, you don't even use a full sheet of cardstock, and then your DSP is pretty minimal as well for decorating it. All right, so just go in and all of these, and actually what I want to do, you see this piece right here? I fold it over so you can see. Normally we would fold this back. This one though, we're going to fold to the front. This is what makes the lip of our box. So this part right here comes about because we fold that. Now we can finish making all our folds, but we need to make sure that we keep this folded down when we do all the rest of our score marks. And that really is the hardest part about this. So I'm just going in and making sure that everything is burnished. Now this little piece right here, this is going to end up being our flap. So I'm going to fold that one to the inside. All right. We have one more bit of cutting to do, and that's these pieces down here. I'm just going to cut straight up my score line. And like I said, these become the bottom flaps of the box. Okay, so we've got all of, sorry, excuse me, allergies. We also have this little tab down here that we need to cut off as well. Sorry, I forgot about that one. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is on my flap here, I'm just going to take some wedges out so we don't have any bulk when we join everything together. All right, and this is what we are left with. At this point, you could put your DSP on, but let me show you why I'm not going to do that. So I have, woo! Can y'all hear that? Woo, loud. So I've cut pieces of DSP, and you will need 4 pieces of DSP that measure 1 3/4 square, okay? And then 4 pieces of your contrasting cardstock that measure 1 7/8 inch square. To decorate our lip here, you're going to have 4 pieces of cardstock that measure 1 3/4 by 3/4 inch, and then 4 pieces of your contrasting cardstock that measure 1 7/8 by 7/8. Now, let me show you why I am going to put the DSP on after I put it together. So this is the black is the matte for this. You're going to look at this and go, oh, where does it go, right? Because this is a big area. So you would have to remember to put it down here towards the bottom score line without going over. And if you're comfortable doing that, you certainly can. Same thing with up here. You could certainly take your DSP and mat it and then put it on each one. But I just choose to do all that after I'm done. That way I don't run the risk of messing myself up, which I've been known to do. All right, so let's go ahead and put this together. This is super, super easy. You can use score tape. You can use liquid glue. Or if you have fast fuse left, you can use that. You just need a strong adhesive. I'm still working on my fast fuse, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. So I will put some on there and put some on my little flap here. I'm not going to worry about my bottom flaps just yet. And then I'm going to fold this over. Now, move that top flap, the little flap, out of the way because we really don't want to work with it just yet. All I'm really interested in is making my box. Now, the reason that we moved that flap out of the way is because it's going to go in here to join up the box, but I want to do that after I have actually closed the lid of my box. Okay, and I'm not even going to do that yet. I'm going to go ahead and take care of closing my bottom flaps, and that way I can make sure I have this pushed all the way down. So this is the front. That'll be the last flap I put in. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this up. Try and keep it square if you can. I've got a little going over the edge there, but I can trim that up. All right, just like that. And while I'm here, I'll go ahead and trim up this edge. Didn't cut close enough to the score mark. Okay, now I can set this down while I push this all the way down. So you push it down as far as it can go, and you'll know it's right when all you have is this little bitty piece that's at the center. So now what I'm going to do is gently move my flap, bring it down, and I wanted to do this while I have the box closed because it can be a tight fit, so you may end up having a little bit of a wiggle there, just like that. All right? And then we just make sure it opens all the way and it closes all the way. How easy is that? Now the only thing left to do is to decorate. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me find my front again, which is right here, although it really doesn't matter because my next step is going to be matting all of my DSP. And for that, I'm going to use liquid glue. So what y'all been doing for this July 4th stay-at-home holiday? We didn't even have hamburgers today. We had pizza. Not exactly traditional, but it tasted pretty good. Geez, can you guys hear the fireworks? To me, they are so, so loud. Poor Miss Winnie is probably cowering behind her daddy's recliner. Oh, there she is barking. She's not happy. All right, so I've just about got this matted up, and those measurements that I gave you ensures that you just have a little bit of a border all the way around. Now I can go ahead and they will fit. It's very easy to fit them to where they go on the box. So we'll go ahead and glue them down. Easy breezy. And I think this is just going to make such a lovely little gift box. It's just big enough. It measures 3 inches by 2 inches by 2 inches deep. So it's just big enough where you could put some little trinkets in it, definitely some chocolates, just anything that's small. I could even fit in some mini nail polish bottles. I have a friend who has a birthday coming up, so. And then these are also nice. I'll make some for the girls at our doctor's office. They're always so sweet to us. I can put little bottles of hand sanitizer in there. Bath and Body Works finally restocked, so I made sure to grab about a dozen of them. They're not very expensive, and they make such great gifts. And, you know, we have a tray by our front door where the delivery people can put our food or our boxes that come in. And I always like to leave them a little something to say thank you, especially since it's no contact. So I don't even open the door until after they're gone. It's just a nice little gift to make them feel appreciated. And I tell you what, our Amazon driver, he's been coming so often that he's got lots of little goodies. All right, let's finish by sticking these on. Oh, geez, it's only, what, 8:15? This is going to go on till midnight. My poor baby. She is not going to have a good night tonight. And when she's unhappy, Mom and Dad are unhappy. All right, that's our last piece on. Find our front again. You can always tell the front because it's where the flap has the crease in it. So this is our front. So that's what our box looks like. And you could certainly leave it like that, or you can put a tag on the front. For instance, I'm thinking about happy birthday would work really well. But another thing that I wanted to do was to finish it off with some ribbon. And I've got the gray granite shimmer ribbon, and I'm going to cut off about an 18-inch piece. I'm just going to wrap it around like this. And you want to go on the bottom part. I'm not being too finicky right now because I have to get the bow tied first. And I always have to do them upside down for them to look halfway decent. Oops, and I got myself twisted. All right. Am I untwisted? Yeah. So 18 inches should give me just enough to make a decent sized bow for this. Come on. Well, that's a pretty awful bow. Let me see if I can straighten that up a little bit. Okay. Tied one of my tails actually inside the loop. I'll bet I couldn't do that again if you paid me $1,000. But let's just do it one more time. All right, that's better. Although I didn't do it upside down, so my tails are going the wrong way. But you get the general idea, right? Let me just see if I can tuck my tail underneath there. And pull this one down. Oh, I'll probably fuss with it more after I get off. But that's basically how I finish it off. And I make sure that it's down here on top of the DSP. That way I know I'll be able to open it up with no worries. All right, let's see who else is on. Oh, Midway. What a great movie. I should put that on for hubby. I don't think he's watched that in quite a while. You're making cards, Kathy? Yeah, you guys can hear him, right? All right. Oh, Roz, I actually order it online. They ship it out very quickly, and the shipping, a lot of times, if you have the honey attachment, if you don't know what that is, just Google honey and honey attachment. Basically, it's a little extension for your browser, and it will automatically load coupons, try to load coupons. Whichever site you're on that it has coupons for, it will automatically see if there are any coupons. So sometimes I can even get free shipping. Yeah, Linda not going into any stores because, guys, Georgia has gotten so scary. I mean, we have had, over the last 4 days, we have had over 125 new cases. I know that doesn't sound much if you're talking about a big city, but, you know, we're in Conyers, small. So I'm just trying not to go anywhere but doctor's offices with hubby. So, yep, all ordering is going to be online for the foreseeable future. Oh, brand new Midway. Is it on one of the movie channels? Because if it is, we'll have to see how we can get that, because I know he would enjoy it. Battleship is, I think, another one that I want to watch this weekend. It'll be good. All right, ladies. Well, I could sit here and chit-chat with you all night long, but fireworks are only going to get louder. Puppy's only going to get more scared. So we'll end this here. I will see you guys next Saturday, same time, same place. In the meantime, remember, wash your hands, check on your neighbors, and please stay safe. Good night, y'all.